How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Pokemon HeartGold version and Pokemon SoulSilver version. I'm your host Collateral, and I could not be more excited to play these games. These remakes of the original Gold, Silver, and Crystal versions are some of the most beloved games in the core Pokemon series, often being cited as the best in the library, with quality of life changes that the originals didn't have, and fun new side content that's just a whole lot of good. Instead of talking about it all here, though, let's get started on our new Pokemon journey in Pokemon HeartGold version. I will first tell you important things about this game. Control info is the basic controls, adventure info is background on our adventure, mainly stuff like press A to talk to people, talk to as many people as you can, but we don't really need to see any of this. I can talk about things as they become relevant. Huh? What? Is it already that late? Oh no, I overslept! Sorry to keep you waiting. Welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Professor Oak, but everyone calls me the Pokemon Professor. Before we go any further, I'd like to tell you a few things you should know about this world. This world is widely inhabited by creatures known as Pokemon. We humans live alongside Pokemon as friends. At times we play together, and at other times we work together. Some people use their Pokemon to battle and develop closer bonds with them. Now, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? Are you a boy or are you a girl? Won't you please tell me? This is where we can choose what player character we want to play as. So, I'm going to go with the boy. And just like Fire Red Leaf Green, I'm going to give him his canon name. With proper capitalization this time, since this is a 4th generation Pokemon game. Ethan is his canon name. Gold also works, but I think Gold is more fitting of the original Gold, Silver, Crystal version. Ethan, are you ready? Your very own tale of grand adventure is about to unfold. Fun experiences, difficult experiences, there's so much waiting for you. Dreams, adventure. Let's go visit the world of Pokemon. I'll see you later. Alright. So now we're in the overworld, and good lord. First of all, we're tiny. Second of all, we're slow. But let's boot up our PC. Check the mailbox, we got an email from Lyra. Lyra is the girl character. She's sort of the de facto replacement for Chris from Crystal. But yeah, here's her email. Adventure, excited, I love Pokemon, with a picture of her Meryl attached to it. How nice. Let's go downstairs. Hi Ethan, you're finally awake. Your friend Lyra was just here. She was playing hide and seek with her Meryl. Oh, I almost forgot, our acquaintance Professor Elm was looking for you. He said he had a favor to ask of you. You know where the lab is, right? It's right next door to us. By the way, do you have everything you need to go out? Here, use this bag to carry things. This is your trainer card. Here you can save a record of your progress. These are also rather helpful. Just try touching the buttons and you'll know what to do in no time. Thank you for giving us options. I want to raise that text speed now. Let's take a look at these other options too. Battle scene. This just shows the little cinematic animations that play whenever you're doing a Pokemon battle. This is for like weather effects, attack animations, stuff like that. Since this is a 4th generation Pokemon game, I'd probably recommend turning them off. You know, just to save your sanity, but I'm keeping them on, because I like them. Battle style. Shift is essentially easy mode, giving you a free switch-in every time you defeat an opposing trainer's Pokemon in a battle. Sound. Stereo or mono. Do you want to listen through... do you want to have different sound through both speakers, or do you want the same sound through both speakers? I'm going to keep it stereo because I like it better that way. Button mode. L equals A. This is just so the left bumper sort of acts as the A button, essentially letting you play with one hand. The frame, this is just for your text box windows. Personally, I'm a fan of number 1. But if I'm playing SoulSilver, I'll have to go number 2. I just like the trim. And I'm pretty sure this is the last Pokemon game that actually had changeable text boxes. Anyways, let's take a look at these other things. I actually want to look at the trainer card next, and that's about it. So we can see our trainer profile here. We can see when we started our adventure, how long we've been playing, our money situation, how much money we got in our wallet. This is where you check, not your bag. And you can flip your card over to see when you beat the main story, your playtime when you beat the main story, times linked with other players, battles you've done with other players, your wins and losses, and times you've traded with another player. And you can sign your card here too. I'll do that later. So, let's go on out. We gotta go talk to Professor Elm after all. Sure would be nice to walk with a Pokemon. But anyways, Mom was right. Elm's Pokemon Lab is right next door. Here it is. But we do have a suspicious looking guy looking through the window here. So this is the famous Elm Pokemon Lab. What are you staring at? Alright, fine. That'll teach me to mind my own business. Rude. Hi, Ethan. I've been waiting for you. Do you know anything about my research? As you know, Pokemon are carried in Pokeballs these days, but before the Pokeball was invented, people used to walk with Pokemon. Just like your friend Lyra does. Pokeballs are great because you can carry many Pokemon, but walking with Pokemon must have some advantages. It could have something to do with how Pokemon grow or evolve. So I'm going to give you a Pokemon. Could you walk beside this Pokemon outside of its Pokeball to see if it brings any special feelings or bonds between Pokemon and people? The device over there has some Pokemon you can choose from. Oh, hey, I got an email. Okay. Hey, listen, I have this acquaintance that people call Mr. Pokemon. He keeps finding weird things and raving about his discoveries. Anyway, I just got an email from him saying that this time it's real. It's probably another Pokemon egg, but we're still so busy with our Pokemon research. Oh, wait, I know! You can come to our place, right? Can we count on you? You can choose one of the Pokemon over there. Alright, and just like my Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green series, I will be going over the stats and other fun stuff about Pokemon when they become readily available to us. So, let's start off with these 3 starters. Before going over any Pokemon in detail, I want to briefly talk about the base stats each Pokemon have as well as some other important information. Each Pokemon has 6 base stats that tie into the gameplay in a meaningful way. HP is your Pokemon's health points, showing how much damage your Pokemon can take before being knocked out. Attack is how much damage a Pokemon can deal with physical attacks. Defense is how well your Pokemon can take damage from physical attacks. Special attack and special defense are the same stats but for special moves, and speed determines turn order. Higher speed stat wins and will move first. I wanted to bring attention to this in particular because HeartGold and SoulSilver are from the same generation that brought us the physical special split. A real game changer, let me tell ya. In previous Pokemon games, whether a move was physical or special was determined by type. A normal type move was always physical, fire type was always special, you get the picture. However now, whether a move is physical or special is determined by the move itself, no longer the type. So now we have normal type moves that are special, fire type moves that are physical. This change gave a lot of Pokemon with weird stat distributions a chance to be better, and I think it's a change that was absolutely necessary to the series. With all that nerd crap out of the way, it's time to start talking about the starters. And what better place to start than the grass type, Chikorita. As is what seems to be the norm with grass type starters, this one is the most challenging to use. Right away, Chikorita is a grass type and it stays that way for life, meaning it won't gain any secondary typing. That can be a bit of an issue, as grass is tied for having the most weaknesses of any standalone type at 5. That's especially bad when those weaknesses are carried by required boss fights and common encounters. Thankfully, Chikorita gets access to some helpful status moves early on like Poison Powder and Reflect, and despite being slow, Chikorita's defenses should at least help it survive a turn and set up one of those status moves, so it's not outright useless in spite of its type. But I would recommend picking up some extra team members to help cover those weaknesses as soon as possible. Thankfully it's not all bad because next up we have Cyndaquil, a fire type built for speed and using special attacks. Just like Chikorita, Cyndaquil will not gain any additional types throughout its life, but fire is surprisingly good defensively. Its few weaknesses are fairly common, but it resists 5 types naturally. Unfortunately, Cyndaquil's moves aren't the best for what it's trying to go for. It gets decent attacks and all, but by level up it'll only learn normal and fire type moves, and then roll out pretty late. That's not to say it's bad though. Cyndaquil has an answer to many of the required fights in the game, and it's the choice I'd recommend for an easier time. And to finish off the trio, we have Totodile, a physical attack-oriented water type, something that couldn't really thrive until now. Coming full circle, of course, Totodile will remain a pure water type, only having 2 weaknesses, neither of which are super common, and can take physical hits pretty well. It also has access to moves like Ice Fang and Bite pretty early on, both of which were special prior to this generation, but unfortunately it severely lacks in terms of water moves. It's stuck with Water Gun, a special move until you get the Surf HM, also a special move. By the time it gets access to a physical water type, you'll be pretty late into the game as it is. Totodile's good, but keep that in mind when using it. It's the middle of the road choice. With that all said and done, let's take a look at our options here. We got Chikorita, the grass type, Totodile, the water type, and Cyndaquil, the fire type. Chikorita was the first of these 3 I ever picked. Cyndaquil's my personal favorite, and Totodile's the one I've used in a previous Let's Play, actually. Not any footage you can find now, but I used to do a Let's Play of Pokemon HeartGold on an old channel, and I used Totodile. But personally, I prefer Cyndaquil. So that's what I'll be going with. Give it a nickname? Absolutely. So, I have a friend that requested to have the Cyndaquil named after him. So say hello to Joxic. Is Joxic the nickname you want to give? Absolutely. How do you like walking with your Pokemon? It's not bad, is it? You can take it all the way to Mr. Pokemon's house. If your Pokemon gets hurt, you should heal it with this machine. It's so easy to use, just check the PC on my desk. Mr. Pokemon goes everywhere and finds rarities. His house is past Cherrygrove City. Go north a little past Cherrygrove. I'm counting on you, Ethan. Alright, let's go. But of course we're going to get interrupted, but this guy's got some good stuff for us. Ethan, I want you to have these to help with your task. We've got potions. Pokemon are weak in the beginning. Don't hesitate to use a potion if you think yours is in danger. Well, I guess now's as good a time as any to check our bag. In our medicine pocket, we've got 5 potions. A spray-type medicine for wounds. It restores the HP of one Pokemon by just 20 points. Now if we take a look at Cyndaquil, it's got 19 HP. These things are full heals for this point in the game. But since they're really mainly good for early game, use them all you want. So let's take a look at Joxic's stats actually. Hardy nature, met at New Barktown at level 5, and it likes to thrash about. So hardy nature means it is a neutral nature. No stat is increased or lowered. Natures essentially mean, well, just like I implied, or outright said, one stat is raised by 10% while another is lowered by 10%. But neutral natures like hardy, they don't really affect any of them. Now characteristics though, that thing at the bottom that says likes to thrash about, this determines a Pokemon's individual values, or IVs for short. You're not going to hear me talking about these a whole lot this playthrough because they're mainly important for competitive battling, if that's really your jam. These are a set of mostly invisible stats that are unique to your Pokemon, showing how quickly a certain stat will grow. There'll be a value from anywhere from 0 to 31, and these characteristics will show which IV is the highest. These stats, yeah, like I said, won't matter for a casual playthrough, so yeah, only keep a lookout for them if you want to do competitive battling, which the competitive scene for HeartGold and SoulSilver is more or less dead, but if you want to transfer it over to a future game, then yeah, that's what that's for. You can see what moves Cyndaquil has, Tackle and Leer. So no fire-type moves just yet, but Tackle is a physical move. Normal type, 35 base power, 95 accuracy, so has a small chance to miss. The physical attack in which the user charges and slams into the foe with his whole body. No additional effects, just a basic, weak normal type move. Leer, the foe is given an intimidating leer with sharp eyes. The target's defense stat is reduced. This is a status move. It lowers it puts a debuff on the opposing Pokemon, so Tackle will hit harder. These are ribbons. We're not going to see much of this for a while. But yeah. As for that characteristic, I want to know, what does that... Okay, what specific IV is that for? I'll show it on screen, but I'll look it up after I'm done recording. But yeah, if we if we had two... Okay, IVs are so, like, if we had two Hardy Nature Cyndaquils, their stats still wouldn't be the same because of their individual values. Enough rambling, let's talk to our friend. Ethan! So you picked a Cyndaquil. That's a cute Pokemon you have. When you walk with it, it'll become more friendly. You should turn around and talk to it sometimes, too. Oh, that's right, why don't you show it to your mom? See ya. Yeah, so the main feature of HeartGold and SoulSilver, at least on the surface, is following Pokemon. This is a feature that went away for so long for some reason, but it's nice to have it here. Your Pokemon seems to have sneezed. Oh, me too. This time of year is rough. Oh, maybe not as bad as other times of the year, but hey. Oh, Ethan, that's a cute Pokemon you have. Professor Elm must have given it to you. Oh, Professor Elm has a task for you, say? What kind of task? I see. That sounds a little difficult, but when someone makes that kind of request of you, it must be important. Oh, that's right, I completely forgot. Your Pokegear came back from the repair shop. Here you go. We've got a cell phone. Pokemon Gear, or Pokegear as it's often called, is what every trainer should have. Guess what? You can use that Pokegear to make a phone call too. Remember how? Of course I do, but you're probably going to tell me anyways. Just power on the Pokegear and touch the telephone button, okay? The names of people you can call are automatically registered. Just select one to give him or her a call. Oh, I can't believe it's so easy to make a phone call. I forgot this game came out in 2010. Anyways, the only phone number we have is our mom. But we've also got settings here. You can change the background of the Pokegear. I'm probably just going to keep it on the default one. Or number 6. I like number 6 a lot. But yeah, number 1. You can also see what time of day I'm recording at. But you'd probably be able to tell just by looking at the actual in-game sky, or just the time of day visually. Because yes, this game does have a day-night cycle, and it can determine what Pokemon you find in the wild. Wait a second. I almost completely forgot about this. Here, I'll give you my number. Perfect timing, I just got my Pokegear back. But yeah, we're making friends fast. I'll call you if anything comes up. My roster increases, yes! Anyways, let's go down to Route 29. This sign here, west of Cherrygrove City. So, here we have one of the other main features of Pokemon, the tall grass. Walk around in it, nothing happens right now, but walk around in it enough, and you'll run into a wild Pokemon. You can't catch any of these just yet. You're kind of just gonna want to fight them for additional experience points. And I guess I should mention, just like how every Pokemon has individual values, or IVs, there's also effort values, or EVs, which also determine how fast a Pokemon stat will grow. Your Pokemon will gain effort values for defeating Pokemon, and these are also an invisible stat that will help your Pokemon grow, and are also important for competitive play. Sorry, you can tell which parts I'm reading off a script. You know, effort values are very important for competitive play, so defeating a Pidgey will give you 1 effort value in speed. Your Pokemon can get up to 510 effort values, and each stat can max out at 252, so I'd recommend planning out your effort values wisely, because you can't just put 252 in each stat. There's a Sentret right there. Oh, Cyndaquil's already low on health. I didn't even notice. That Pidgey actually did a number on me. Well, I guess now's as good a time as any to use a potion. It's not like we're going to be hard-pressed to have not having potions or whatever. These are pretty disposable. Well, they're made to be used anyways. Yeah, Sentret, not a very strong Pokemon. Pretty easy to defeat also. Foresight, I don't know why you use that twice, or once on Cyndaquil for that matter. Foresight, I believe, allows the Pokemon to use normal and fighting type moves against ghost types, which are normally immune to them. But, yeah. Oh, like I was mentioning with effort values, even though I said you need to be careful with where you spec them out, there are ways to lower them, so you don't need to be too careful, I guess. There are ways to reverse them, so that's nice. I'd still recommend being careful, though, because I'd rather you not have to waste anything to lower those effort values back. Wow, I'm really lucky with my wild Pokemon RNG. We made it to Cherrygrove City. You're a rookie trainer, aren't you? I can tell. That's okay, everyone's a rookie at some point. If you like, I can teach you a few things. Okay then, follow me. You're so fast for a Gen 4 character, man. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that you weren't wearing the running shoes. Sorry, I'm senile. I'll try to go as slow as possible, so try keeping up. This is a Pokemon Center. They heal your Pokemon in no time at all. You'll be relying on them a lot, so you better learn about them. This is a Pokemon Mart. They sell Pokeballs for catching wild Pokemon and other useful items. Route 30's out this way. Trainers will be battling their Pokemon there. If you go a little farther, you'll see Mr. Pokemon's house. This is the sea, as you can see. Some Pokemon are found only in water. Here, it's my house. For your effort keeping up with me, I'll give you my running shoes. They're still warm. Got you, didn't I? Don't worry, this is brand new. And we've got a fresh pair of running shoes from the guide gent. The instructions read, touch the sprint button on the touchscreen to sprint. It also says hold the B button down to sprint. I'm more of a fan of the B button than the actual sprint button itself, so yeah, you're going to see me using that a lot. When you're with Pokemon, going anywhere is fun. Yeah, the guide gent's a real one for giving us that little city tour. Pokemon gain experience in battle and change their form. I heard that each Pokemon has its own nature and it has something to do with Pokemon stats. Oh, I should have brought up nature here. But yeah, the game gives you subtle hints about that sort of thing. I battled the trainers on the road. My Pokemon lost. They're a mess. I must take them to a Pokemon Center. Then go. It's down the street. Okay. You're trying to see how good you are as a Pokemon trainer? You better visit the Pokemon gyms all over Johto and collect badges. When I get older, I'm gonna be a gym leader. I make my Pokemon battle with my friends to make them tougher. Imagine if that NPC actually was a gym leader you'd see in a future Pokemon game. Alright, the Pokemon Mart. He said they sell Pokeballs, but right now they only sell potions, antidotes, and paralyze heals. Anyways, antidotes are a spray-type medicine. It lifts the effect of poison from one Pokemon. And paralyze heals are the same things as antidotes, but for paralysis. Those are status conditions we'll be seeing later. Not much later, but we'll be seeing them a lot, trust me. Now, the guide gent was extremely right about one thing. We will be relying on these Pokemon Centers a lot. Hello and welcome to the Pokemon Center. We restore your tired Pokemon to full health. Would you like to rest your Pokemon? Absolutely. Cyndaquil, get up there. It'll also restore the power points of your Pokemon's moves. Not many people talk about this, but that little number next to your moves like Tackle, PP 35, that means you can use Tackle 35 times before it's completely exhausted and you'll need to take it to a Pokemon Center. We're probably not going to have many instances of PP running out, but when it does, it's extremely inconvenient and I hate it. I made it. I forgot about one thing. There's another token from me. Take it. We got the map card from the guide gent. How nice. The map isn't anything special just yet, but, you know, it is a map of the region. So it is nice to get a little reference point on where you need to go. Let's take a look at it right now. But yeah, like I said, not too helpful right now. You can see where you've been with these red icons. So New Barktown or Cherrygrove City. But yeah. Not special right now, but it will be useful for some Pokemon you may want to catch later on. I will make note of it, trust me. Route 30, we've got some more wild Pokemon to fight. Another Pidgey, sure thing. Close to leveling up, so we can take this down. I'll be level 6. Wow, you're not doing a whole lot of damage, Cyndaquil. I think I should use Leer to get that damage boost going. Use Tackle, see how much more that does. Yeah, that's a lot more. I should be able to 3-tap it. There we go. 31 experience, and that is just enough to get a level up. And Joxic learns Smokescreen. That's another debuffing move that lowers the opponent's accuracy, so they'll hit you less. You can lower an opposing Pokemon stat up to 6 times, so you can't just make it go into the negatives. Sorry. But anyways, we've got a wild Caterpie here. Pretty easy to take down. Caterpie's pretty weak. But it knows String Shot, so it'll probably be moving first. String Shot's a debuffing move that lowers your Pokemon's speed. Alright, now that I've had my speed lowered by 2 stages, Cyndaquil's probably going to start moving second. Yep, there we go. String Shot's annoying, but it's not too bad. Like I said, Caterpie's not a very strong Pokemon. So there we go. And we're not far from getting to level 7. Nice. Got a potion to make up for the one we used. Like I said, we are not going to be starved for potions. You're wearing the running shoes. They make you feel like you're flying, don't they? But beware of wild Pokemon and trainers. When you run, the noise will attract them. Yeah, some trainers rotate. So what that means is they'll just change direction occasionally. But when you run next to them, they'll automatically turn to look at you. As for wild Pokemon, the rate of finding them increases quite a bit when you're running. We got this house here, but it doesn't look like Mr. Pokemon's house. We still look like we got some distance farther to go. Hey, kiddo! How in the world can you be so oblivious to my eye-catching house? Hold it right there! When you follow that path up north, you'll see Mr. Pokemon's house. But before you go, let me finish what I have to say. Do you have any apricorns? Apricorn trees bear fruit once a day. I have one of those trees too. Apricorns are really something. You can make Pokeballs and other things. They're quite useful. I have a feeling this is meant to be, because I have something for you. We get the Apricorn box. Couldn't miss this if we tried. With that Apricorn box, you can carry so many Apricorns. You'll be a decent Apricorn collector. But yeah, this tree right here. Little green fruit on the top of it. Let's grab it. We're going to be seeing these Apricorn trees pretty much everywhere, and I'm going to grab as many as I can. So yeah, right here we've got a green Apricorn. Has a mysterious aromatic scent. No, there are 7 different colors of Apricorns, and we're not going to be hard-pressed for them at all. More wild Pokemon, how fun. Another Caterpie. Easy marks. And this one should be a level up, I think. Caterpie's EXP yield isn't too low this early on, I don't think, right? Don't make me eat my own words, little guy. $22 experience. Right, yeah, there we go, level 7. But yeah, a level up works pretty much the same way as it does in any other RPG. It's just there to increase your Pokemon stats. Ooh, Metapod, that's the evolved form of Caterpie. I'm honestly going to run for this. The extra experience isn't worth it because Metapod's kind of annoying to fight in the wild, this early on anyways. They know a defense buffing move, and that's all they know, so they're just going to use that over and over. Antidote, we got one of those for free, nice. Yeah, we're going to be interrupted by wild Pokemon quite a bit. At points like these, when they're just not really worth it anymore, I will be skipping over them. For your sanity, not mine. Am I just gonna have to walk in tall grass? Well, maybe not, because that's still gonna get me wild Pokemon. Good lord. If you're worried at all about those encounters being crazy, stupidly abundant, don't worry. There is an item later on that'll let us decrease encounter rate. Just as long as your lead Pokemon is stronger than the wild mooks of the area. You must be Ethan. It was I who sent an email to Professor Elm earlier. This is what I want Professor Elm to examine. And we get the mystery egg. A friend of mine from Ekruteak gave it to me. I bet you can't find this kind of egg in Johto. I thought Professor Elm might be able to tell what it is. He's the best when it comes to the research of Pokemon evolution. That's a quote from the famous Professor Oak. You're returning to Professor Elm? Here. Your Pokemon should have some rest. And with that, I'm Professor Oak, a Pokemon researcher. So you're Ethan. I was just visiting my friend Mr. Pokemon. I heard you were running an errand for Professor Elm, so I waited here. Oh, what's this? A rare Pokemon. I see. You must be helping Professor Elm's research. I think I understand why Professor Elm gave you that Pokemon. You will treat your Pokemon with love and care, it seems. Ah, you seem to be dependable. How would you like to help me out? See, this is the latest version of the Pokedex. It automatically records data on Pokemon you've seen or caught. It's a high-tech encyclopedia. I'd like you to have it. And we get the Pokedex, the final menu option. Go meet many kinds of Pokemon and complete that Pokedex. But I've stayed too long. I have to get to Goldenrod for my usual radio show. Ethan, I have a feeling this is not the last time we'll meet. Let's exchange numbers just to be on the safe side. We've got the number of the legendary Professor Oak now. So, like he said, the Pokedex is a high-tech encyclopedia. You can see information about Pokemon you've seen or caught. When you catch a Pokemon, you can see its information right here, like its name, classification, type, footprint, height, weight, and its Pokedex entry, like Cyndaquil's. It is timid and always curls itself up in a ball. If attacked, it flares up its back for protection. Pidgey, we haven't caught one yet, so we can't see any information about it, not even its type. Sentret, Caterpie, Metapod. So yeah. Sorry to trouble you having to go back and forth, but make sure to hand it to Professor Elm. Will do. I'm gonna go right back. Hey Elm, I got the egg you wanted. Hello, Ethan? It's a disaster. It's terrible. What should I do? Oh no. Please get back here now. My recording just stopped. Anyways, geez, melodramatic much? No, not Pokedex. Elm just couldn't go 5 minutes without his egg, could he? Oh my god. Well, let's hurry on back. Clearly something's urgent, so yeah, it makes sense we'd want to hurry back. Let's get there without going in the tall grass. We can do that. I swear. You got a Pokemon at the lab. What a waste. That's a Pokemon that's too good for a wimp like you. Don't you get what I'm saying? Well, I too have a good Pokemon. I'll show you what I mean. We've got our first trainer battle, and technically, boss fight. We're challenged by the Passerby Boy. And he sends out Totodile. He'll actually have the starter Pokemon that is strong against yours. So if you pick Totodile, he'll have Chikorita, Cyndaquil, you know, full circle. This Totodile is going to be level 5, and it's going to have its starting moveset of Scratch and Leer. Not really a hard fight by any means. It's just spam your attack against it, and it's even easier if you're higher leveled. Yeah, nothing about this fight is really that tough. Like, he'll even if he has debuffing moves, like, it's still an easy fight. You just spam your attack. Like, you can see he's almost down, and he just barely got past half health. There we go. That's it. 70 experience. Starters have a pretty high experience yield. Good lord. Level 8. You happy you won? 500 bucks. Nice. Well, okay, that's more like the real world equivalent of $5. Do you want to know who I am? I'm going to be the world's greatest Pokemon trainer. Give it back. That's my trainer card. Oh, no, you saw my name. Not in a real hurry to get out of there. Or silence me. Sure, good. Yeah, this is the way you want to go if you don't want to go into any tall grass. We're already level 8. We have no need for that. Yeah, these ledges right here, they're one way. You can go down, but not up. Anyways, go back to the lab. Elm, I think I know what happened.
Who are you? We're investigating the case of a missing Pokemon here. Rule number 1, whoever did it will come back to the site. Oh my, so you must be the one who did it?
But hold on a second, he has nothing to do with it. I saw it, there was a red-haired boy looking in through the building.
What? You battled a boy like that? He must be the one who did it. Did you happen to get his name?
Yep. I'm going to go with his canon name as well. His name is... Silver.
I see. So Silver was his name.
Thanks for helping my investigation.
My next assignment is to search for this red-haired individual.
Ethan, I'm so glad they understand you're innocent. See you later. Ethan, this is terrible. Oh, yes. What was Mr. Pokemon's big discovery? Huh? This is an egg, isn't it? This egg may be something I've never seen, but still, it's just an egg. Mr. Pokemon is always fascinated by eggs. Well, since he gave it to us, we might as well find out what secret it holds. I'll keep it for a while to find out about the egg. What? Professor Elm gave you a Pokedex? Ethan, is that true? That's incredible. He's superb at seeing the potential of people as trainers. Wow, Ethan, I know you're a little different. Things are gonna be fun. Your Pokemon seems to really like you, so why don't you take the Pokemon Gym Challenge? If you manage to defeat all the gym leaders, you'll eventually be able to challenge the league champion. Or not. Becoming the champion is not all that easy, but you can certainly challenge Violet City's gym. Ethan, challenging the gym scattered around will be a long journey. Before you leave, make sure you talk to your mom. Will do. But still, there's one valuable Pokemon left. You didn't notice before, but it's behind a thick glass walls now, so nothing bad can happen to it. Should have been there before. Oops. Anyways, let's go talk to Mom. So you're leaving on an adventure. Okay, I'll help too. What can I do for you? Oh, I know. Every time you receive prize money, I'll save some of it for you. On a long journey, money's important. You want me to save your money for you? Okay, so your mom essentially acts as a bank. She'll keep money for you. She'll keep some of your winnings. But there's one caveat. Sometimes she'll spend your money when you don't want her to. So that being said, I can buy my own items, so no thank you, Ma. Okay, be careful out there. Pokemon are your friends. When you work as a team, you can accomplish anything. Now go on. Alright. And with that being said, we can now go out on our own, challenge the Violet City Gym. We've got our mom backing us up, even though not financially, because I didn't want her to. But yeah, this seems like a good point to end the video. So next time on Pokemon HeartGold and Pokemon SoulSilver, we'll go out and go to Violet City. See you guys then.